Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tells Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host, and
Karen.
we are live on a Sunday afternoon, hanging out, listening to music, and
Hmm.
about to do some podcasting. It's that
Yes,
simple.
sir.
You can find us everywhere you get podcasts. Just search the Black Guy Who Tips. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcast app. We love those. We read those. They make us feel nice and warm in our tummies. Okay, they make us feel good. So why don't you write one if you haven't already?
Yes, let us know that you love us. And the only way we know that you love us is through 5-star reviews. That's how you show your love.
And the official weapon of the show is
The taser.
an unofficial sport,
Put it ball.
a bullet ball, extreme, extreme, extreme. I guess we can go ahead and just get into the show. I don't know what we have to say. I have a booked and busy day today.
Okay.
Have a lot to get to. So I guess we can start with oh, you know what? We should do coronavirus news. We haven't done coronavirus news
It's still
in
out
a
there.
while, and it's still affecting the world. So
Again? Look, here we go again. We got variants. Really need to keep a mask on hand and follow the plan. Get the vaccine and second shots, whether woman or man. Black Guy Who Tips is doing their part, but the dumbest expand. Niggas would rather believe a bunch of misinformation. Fuck y'all idiots not getting shots. Now we gotta regress. If we keep going in this direction, we never can rest. Never can get back to the lives we be living the best. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the intubation crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the ventilator crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. I do not understand this shit. I'm not a fan of this. We were like one win from the pandemic championship, but fuckers wanna leave it to game 7 with Giannis Delta Kupo blocking forward progression and Chris middle fingers to your plans. Man, damn. Looks like it's no Drew holiday for you and your mans. I'm sick of black people dying for real, so I'm just writing this new piece to let you know how I feel. Coronavirus, yeah. Fuck that COVID-19. It's unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah. So fuck that COVID-19. It's unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah.
coronavirus. Let's go. Let's go. CDC's Rochelle Walensky resigned, citing pandemic transition. Now we knew she was gonna resign. Oh, I want to say for a while now.
Okay.
She submitted a resignation Friday, saying that the waning of the COVID-19 pandemic was a good time to make the transition. Her last day will be June 30th, and an interim director wasn't immediately named. And the one, I just feel like this is one of those things where it's almost like coaching an NBA team or something. If some shit happens on your watch, it's not even whether you handled it bad or you did the wrong thing or anything. It's nothing but bad choices when it's a pandemic.
Right.
And this wasn't like a pandemic where you were gonna avoid getting infections. It just wasn't. Like every country in the world had some level of either shutdown, precaution, and they still ended up with record numbers of people getting sick and dying and stuff.
Mhm.
But America, of course, was among
We're number one.
we were among the worst, partially because I think we have a half of this country at least dedicated to being the worst. And I don't know that the CDC could change that, because every time the CDC wanted something, they would get either undermined or told to, you can't trust them or whatever. And it started eventually happening on both sides. Like it wasn't just Republicans.
Nope.
And so I feel like whoever was in charge of the CDC, their heads were gonna roll.
Of course.
I felt to me like Fauci was marked from the beginning of the pandemic. Not to mention just the death threats and stuff you had to deal with, but just in general, it's like something bad happened and you were here. We can't move on till you're not here. Now, what's interesting is coronavirus is still out here. COVID is out here.
It is.
I don't think it's going away. I think it's basically endemic at this point. You're just gonna have to be vaccinated. You're gonna have to do what you can do. But I do find it interesting that with it being here like this, with this just kind of being the new reality, what will the next person do that's in charge? Because one thing people forgot about the CDC is it's not really a shutdown wing of our country. They don't really
It's suggestions.
Yeah, they don't really have the authority to do stuff, but they can make these suggestions. And up until the pandemic, it seemed like for the most part, the CDC recommended some, people didn't question it, or you just kind of understood it like, okay, that seems to be the best advice. But somewhere during the middle of the pandemic, it became like not just, it became like animosity towards them. Like they would say, hey, we're
Across
still
the board.
suggesting people wear masks, and people would be like, fuck that, I'm not doing that shit. Matter of fact, I'm not doing it because you want me to do it.
Agreed.
So I do wonder what's going to happen at this point. But pink eye cases are rising in Rowan County. Health officials say it's concerning trend they're having difficulty treating, and people think it's because of the new COVID subvariant Arcturus.
Is it causing pink eye, or when people?
One of the side effects is pink eye, especially among children.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's interesting that we talked about this last time, but it's still shocking to you.
It is.
Doctors say
sorry.
Doctors say this highly contagious subvariant is popping up all across the country, with one of the common symptoms including pink eye. They say the subvariant produces inflammation of the external part of the eye and the eyelids, causing itching, redness, swelling, and tearing or discharging that lasts about a week. As health officials continue to study the subvariant, they say the best way to protect yourself is to stay up to date on your COVID-19 vaccinations, which is always going to be the case. So, but a lot of people ain't getting them, so I guess people they're gonna take the pink eye if they get it.
I don't
And
want no pink eye.
This seems unrelated, but kind of related to the pandemic. Pandemic sent high school sex to new low. The first years of the pandemic saw a huge decline in high school students having sex. Teen sex was already becoming less and less common before COVID-19. About 3 decades ago, more than half of the teens said they had sex, according to a large government survey conducted every 2 years. By 2019, the share was 38%. By 2021, 30% of teens said they had ever had sex. That was the sharpest drop ever recorded by the survey. What I think is interesting is because this happened when Euphoria came out, there was like this movement of people that was like, what do you think the kids are doing? They're all having fucking orgies and being like escorts for old men and shit. And I think every generation believes the generation after them is either worse or darker or what, some more you know. Then to me, it makes more sense. Kids will be more conservative now, and I don't mean conservative leaning values. I just mean like we're more aware of the pitfalls of everything, probably to a bad degree. Like,
yes,
the way that we talk online, anxiety rules the world, rules everything. What the worst case scenario is always the scenario people want to talk about. We're extremely heavy on talking about trauma, and I think these discussions we're having about, sexual assault, the discussions we're having about sex and sex work, the discussion we're having about disease, the same way that like we can monitor our kids closer than ever, but we're also much less likely to let them leave the yard. Like,
right,
it has to be affecting these kids to some extent, and that's before you get to the pandemic, COVID, school shootings. There's a lot on these kids' minds that's probably not about sex in that way. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah, and also it's a thing too where some parents, a lot of parents have selective memories about how it was when they were children, and all children aren't like, I just want to fuck. Like, that doesn't make sense. A lot of children are scared, they're afraid, they don't understand, and now they have information that we didn't have, because statistically our generation had a higher generation of teenage pregnancy than the generation now, but we're looking at them like, y'all not that fucking. No, technically our generation was fucking, but we just didn't have the knowledge and the wisdom that they have to make a lot of educated decisions, be on birth control, and use contraceptives, or even know what the fuck contraceptives was. I grew up in the generation where your period started at 7, 8, 9, and nobody knew what the fuck their period was, and everybody looking at each other panic because they think they're fucking bleeding to death. Now, if a child wants to learn something about this, they can actually Google, they can actually find out they have these things. And like you say, parents actually watch children now, like monitor them more than ever. So a lot of the things that you think they're doing, odds are they're not doing. Right. You do have some children that are out here wilding, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But when a lot of parents, because it's out of fear, make these blanketed ass statements like all the children just fucking their way to hell, that's not true.
Well, also you got to remember too, like our generation was the one that was said to be having all the early pregnancies, STDs, all this stuff. And then when you actually start looking at those trends, they've gone down over our lifetimes, even our generation. Less crime, all this stuff, but the adults always demagogue the kids.
Mhm.
So it's interesting to think about the way we believe these kids are out here doing shit versus the results of the survey, which say no, they're actually not doing all that stuff. More than 17,000 students at 152 public and private high schools responded to the 2021 survey. Participation was voluntary and required parental permission, but responses were anonymous. The CDC also noted declines in students who said they were currently having sex or who had at least 4 sex partners. The declines clearly had a lot to do with the pandemic, that the kids kept isolated at home for long stretches and often under extended adult supervision, right? Because your parents are probably home during the stretch for a lot of it too. Also, like, kids, it's hard for them to be sneaky.
Yep.
You know, we got all the info. You got the
your phone
account.
got a GPS, your watch got a GPS.
Yeah.
You can put an Apple tag. Like, it's all types of ways to follow and monitor. Your cars got GPS. Like,
Yeah.
you got your rings. Like, you know, everything is recorded.
And when you think about the Attorney General talking about social isolation, poor mental health, and loneliness, and how it can be as bad for you as smoking a bunch of cigarettes a day, it's, you know, it's there's a fine line. You know, it's weird to say. It's so weird to be sitting up here thinking like, fuck, man, the kids aren't having enough sex. That is essentially what we're saying. Like, man, these kids gotta get the fucking, man. And these kids, they're gonna go crazy. But that's low key what we're saying.
Yeah, and also it's one of those things too, to where because they have so much information, children are actually reading about the STDs and shit like that. And, you know, let's say they do have friends that's fucking, like, they hear their friends talking about getting pregnant and STDs, and, you know, you're a child, you're like, oh, whatever the fuck that is, I don't want it.
Yeah, I guess the kids ain't finger banging at the movies like they used to.
No, they are not. And also, like you said, with the kids being monitored and all that stuff and everything, quote unquote, being online, yes, they might go to school, but during a lot of the pandemic, that was stripped away. So a lot of those interpersonal skills and things that children get, they're kind of dying. And you have some children now, you have a whole generation actually that are like, no, just hit me up on social media. I don't want to do things. And when they're out in public, a lot of times you don't get the face-to-face interaction. They don't just walk up and be like, hey, you know, how are you doing? Like, that shit is, if I don't know you, a lot of children aren't reaching out to try to, you know, maintain and get new friends. They might when they're younger, but once they get to a certain age, their pattern is kind of established. And unless they're in a situation where they're consistently introduced to new people where they would want to reach out, or unless they're just a pure extrovert, a lot of children ain't doing that.
All right, let's get to some regular news. All right, regular ass news. Let's talk about it. Chris Brown and Usher both take the stage at Las Vegas Music Festival, Friends and Lovers, I believe is the name of it, after an alleged fight. They allegedly got into altercation at the Skate Rock City roller rink on Saturday morning. On Saturday morning, Brown, 34, allegedly got into an argument with Usher, 44, during his birthday party at the Skate Rock City roller rink, as seen in a video obtained by TMZ.
Is it Vegas?
Yeah,
because Usher's doing a whatchamacallit, because I was looking at Tix, he's doing a what you call them things, them things where they do them things with
residency.
Residency in Vegas right now.
Okay, yeah, I only saw the like Twitter.
And he's minding his own business out there, just doing his shows.
Well, so this is the thing. This was fascinating to watch through the eyes of Twitter, right? Because apparently Usher threw a birthday party for Chris Brown, right?
Okay, so Usher threw the party for Chris, okay.
Then at the party, Chris Brown started arguing with Tiana Taylor. And
for why?
You can't see why. It's music.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. But Usher stepped in to kind of be like, hey, you're scaring the hoes.
Right.
And then Chris Brown and I guess his crew proceeded to like beat up Usher or something like that. Like according to Twitter, they jumped him. Now I don't know if they actually jumped him. But yeah, Chris Brown and crew allegedly jumped Usher during a skate party in Las Vegas. So that's what Hollywood Unlocked is reporting. And what I think is interesting here is Tiana Taylor is, people love her now, but there was a period in time where people fucking didn't like her because when Chris Brown beat up Rihanna, she was one of the people that defended Chris Brown. She made Rihanna's face, that well-known photo of her beaten face, her header on social media.
Oh no.
Yeah, so then it's like Chris Brown is mad, is turning on her. It's like the people that were trying to celebrate Chris Brown or welcome him back to the, I don't know, to society or some shit, you know, because he is always complaining about not being, you know, invited and back like people not liking him. Well, you know, Scorpion crossing the river shit.
Right. You can't be fighting, like you said, you can't be fighting and scaring the hoes and people want to have you around. Come on, dog. We want to have a good time and you fucking up the vibe.
Yeah, Chris Brown reportedly got disrespectful with the singer and actress Tiana Taylor for an unknown reason. This from Hollywood Unlocked. The source explained that Chris Brown was noticeably intoxicated when he initially approached her. A few guests and even Usher tried to intervene and calm everyone down. However, at some point during all the commotion, Chris Brown allegedly called Usher a coward and left the venue. The drama spilled over outside on the Chris Brown's bus as Usher followed behind to talk to the Run It artist. Shockingly, that's when things went completely left when Chris Brown and his crew allegedly jumped the R&B singer. The insider went on to say that the alleged beatdown was so bad it left Usher with a bloody nose. Now, the thing is, before he took the stage today, Usher did put up a video of his face showing like, you know, stiff wear, like my face is fine. I don't know if he's saying he didn't get jumped or they just, R&B niggas don't hit as hard as they used to. I don't know. I don't know. But they did both perform at the thing today, but that could just be a contractual obligation. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I don't know all the details.
I mean, Usher my age. Usher's like, the fuck I'm be fighting for, nigga. I'm trying to perform for the ladies that's coming to my residency.
Right. And they said he didn't show any evidence of injury while he was performing. Like, I'm guessing they saying if you just got jumped, they expecting you to be moving a little slow.
And yo, nigga, you're 44.
Moving nice and slow.
Come on.
I would guess. But yeah, he wasn't out there dancing like Genuine be dancing these days. So I guess
he's a little bit more flexible than Genuine.
Yeah. This is sad because you think there'd be more love in this club, you know?
Come on.
But I guess not.
Not at all.
All right, well, that's all we know about that. And good luck to those people involved. I don't have a huge take on it, but I will say I know there's people that are like staunch Chris Brown defenders. People feel like you gotta have his back at this point. Yeah, he fucked up when he was younger. I think people do kind of forget that he was young when that happened, but he's done shit since.
Yes, he has.
And that some of, not even involving Rihanna, just other stuff. Some of it's fallen away where it's been stuff he was accused of that turned out to not be true. A lot of it hasn't been that. I still remember him getting upset and angry during his like trying to come back from it tour, and I remember him tearing up the green room on like the Today Show or some shit.
Yeah, I thought good one of them shows.
Yeah, one of those shows. Yeah, and I don't know, man. Just feel like whatever is, maybe it's a thing that became true, but people aren't gonna let him move on from that. Period. Right. But he also has shown he hasn't moved on from that.
All right.
And at this point, it doesn't really matter why shit happened anymore, because this seems to be who he is, the guy who's always in some shit, you know? And I think he'll always have people that don't care, you know, it's kind of like Trey Songz. And so what do you do when people don't care? I don't know. I feel like he's going to always have a career, but it's interesting that the people that seem to be in his corner, you're throwing him a birthday party. Tiana Taylor defended this dude at the worst time to me. Like, I don't even know what possibly you could have been defending, you know, but he's ready to fight y'all. He's disrespecting y'all. So, you know, good luck, man. Trying to rehabilitate him. I would not do it if it was me.
Nope. And then he wonders why they was like, it's on second thought, you won't be performing live.
And he's not a kid anymore.
Right. This is a grown ass man.
Like that's the thing. When the shit first happened with him and Rihanna, you could have made an argument. I was willing to understand, like, yo, this dude is young. It's a horrible mistake. Something that maybe he deserves a chance to be able to at least come back from. It's not like he's dead. So it's like he gonna continue to exist. What's the best case scenario? That he will always be this abusive person and we can dunk on him, or that he somehow realizes how fucked up this was and never does it again. I mean, I'd rather he know and change his ways, but I don't know, nigga, you're grown. You're grown. It's just on you at this point. What I'm supposed to do? How long am I supposed to be like, well, this thing has marred your life? I guess at 80 you can still be doing wild shit. Nah, at some point it's like, bro, you go get therapy or something.
Mm-hmm.
A Colorado woman finds shockingly big snakes in the walls of her new home.
In the walls?
Mm-hmm. I was scared to death, she said. And these are some big ass snakes. Look at these snakes. What the fuck kind of snake is this? Is this even? Yeah. Look like a fucking like boa constrictor or some shit. Home buyer in Colorado found herself a nightmare situation. Amber Hall told ABC affiliate KMGH-TV that she was excited to move to her newly purchased Centennial home until she made a startling discovery. There were some shockingly big snakes in the garage walls. Oh, I guess this is the video. Well, let's watch the video.
It's the Memorial Day Super Sale.
Oh, and it's the Memorial Day Super Sale. Don't forget that, guys. Memorial Day Super Sale, theblackouttips.com. You can get
come on, the sale is to the 15th.
Till the 15th. You can get that year premium for a lot less.
Come on, you
Home
too
in
could
Colorado
get
can
it.
be challenging. Well, for one Centennial family, that took on a whole new meaning after finding snakes living in the walls of their new home.
Well, they reached out to contact Denver 7, so we sent Colette Bordelon out to the house today, and that new home buyer told her that house clearly was a fix and flip.
After weeks of looking at houses,
it is 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
When Amber Hall walked into this Centennial home, she knew she wanted it.
This is their first house with a yard.
Her family and their 2 dogs moved in at the end of March.
You're a home buyer.
Yes. First house. Lots and lots of saving and work and time.
But settling in is taking more time than she thought.
So your garage, this is everything that you have yet to unpack.
Yes, it's terrible.
Because of what her dog found in the back of her garage.
Well, guys, here he is.
Oh.
That snake was just the beginning.
Yeah, you could feel like it was warm and squishy in there.
Hall says there were more hidden in the wall.
This is the 3rd one.
Of 10 snakes.
There he goes. Right in my house.
Found in 10 days.
Because they're all right.
10 snakes in 10 days.
So they showed them sneaking, like literally going into the house. So not so funny. Who the fuck knows how many is in their goddamn walls?
Here, when you open the store,
I will sue the fuck out of them. Cause ain't you supposed to get this bitch inspected?
Careful.
When we came over on Wednesday, 2 were trapped.
My kids and I are afraid to sleep in our beds. Afraid to use.
She has glue traps out to catch the snakes, and they caught 2, which makes you just think you've caught 10 so far, whatever. You're still catching snakes.
There's no telling.
Burn the house down.
Them shit's probably all through the house.
Fuck
that.
Yeah.
Use the restroom because snakes might come out of the toilet.
She hired a snake wrangler who says there's likely a den somewhere underground and that they've been living there for at least 2 years.
It's the snake's house now.
Oh, 2 years.
Yeah. Or as they would say, 2 years.
Traps. Already over $1,000 I've paid.
Do you have any suspicion that anyone knew that there were snakes?
I feel like this reporter knows she thick because all the shots are far enough away for us to see her butt. So
right. Oh, that might be her or the cameraman. I don't know.
I just want to acknowledge. I see you, ma'am. What's the Instagram? I do want to follow.
On the wall, or do you think that you're the first one to find them?
I don't feel like I'm the first one to find them, but I don't think
Can't
that
be.
anybody would ever say that they knew they were there.
She's
Right.
not sure when or even if that feeling will ever go away.
It's rough.
Not
I'm
with your
42
walls
years
being
old, and this is
soft.
my first home. I've worked my whole life for it, and I can't enjoy it. My kids can't enjoy it. I'm scared to death.
Saying she wants to rip up the concrete and find out where they are before she can escape from the snake saga that's her new home.
Right now, we gotta find a
Colette
fucking
Bordelon,
den.
Denver 7.
Those are some real that I would never be able to sleep. I'd be like in bed feeling like snakes on my legs. I could never sleep. I remember I caught a lizard one time in our apartment, and I was like fucked up for a while. I'll be like, oh, this is okay. No, that was just a shadow. Like snakes, nigga. Oh.
And we reached out to the realtor who told us this is the first time he's heard about the problem. And his company says if they had seen the snakes, they would have told her.
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't believe you.
I mean, you're never gonna find a realtor that's like, yeah, we knew it was snakes in there.
I mean, she's fucking touching the wall and it's soft and shit. Yes, the fuck. Somebody knew something wasn't right.
Yeah, you like, but what would the realtor say? Of course. That's what she get. Like, of course they gotta be like, we had no idea. It's just dozens of snakes. Like when y'all was showing the house and there was just fucking snakes in there, like falling off the roof. Y'all wasn't worried. Oh my goodness. Woo. Authorities are investigating a robbery that resulted in over 200 right foot sneakers being stolen.
Just the right foot?
Just the right foot.
The fuck is this? Somebody only need one shoe?
Maybe that's the kind of heist it was. There are a lot of amputees about to come up. A group of robbers reportedly stole over 200 sneakers from a footwear shop in central Peru, but unknowingly took only the right footed sneakers. Oh, when you get back.
Oh, they was mad. They was like, why is it only one shoe? Wait a minute. It's two shoes, but they're both for the right foot. The fuck? What's happening? I bet that somebody was like, yeah, we need for y'all to match them shoes up. And somebody's like, okay. And somebody came and like, oh, I got me some shoes.
They just gonna have to start finding like a bunch of war vets or something. They like, how are they gonna sell these shoes? You can't just put these shits on fucking StockX. It's over.
Somebody made a good point. I didn't think about that. They're part of the display shoes. You know, the shoes that go up on the display where you know how to mate. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so they had a bunch of shoes back there where the other one was on display.
They're literally gonna have to find somebody with two left feet or whatever. Like, yeah. According to Diario Correo, the robbery occurred in the early hours of Sunday, April 30th. Security cameras purportedly captured footage of 3 individuals breaking into the shoe store in Hongkai at approximately 3:30 a.m. They made off with 3 sizable boxes that contained roughly 220 sneakers from a popular name brand outlet. They utilized a tricycle to transport the boxes and their padlock cutters.
A tricycle?
That's what they wrote. In addition, thieves also state that it took the group of thieves an hour and several attempts to gain entry into the store. Despite leaving the left-footed sneakers behind, the stolen merchandise was estimated to be about $13,000. Yeah, because the store can't sell them either.
Yeah, right. It's just a loss all the way around. Y'all can't sell them and they can't sell them. The fuck is this?
Half off sale.
Yes. And no wonder why it took you an hour. Bitch, you run up in the tricycle. Yes, it's going to take you an hour.
Buy one. That's it. Sale.
Buy one. 50% off.
Right. They got to make it seem like a cool trend. They need to put out a commercial of people wearing one new shoe and one old shoe and act like, oh, look at this shit. I'm so rich. I got 2 shoes, bitch. They don't even match. Like, not matching is the new matching. Like, we
got to sell the 1 foot sale.
Yeah. So yeah, that's crazy. And they don't know.
50% off on shoe. you can't say shoes.
Yeah, no, you're right. Let's see. A couple held their wedding at Scottsdale White Castle after the bride sought solace at the chain during her teenage homelessness.
Oh.
A couple recently married outside of Scottsdale White Castle, but Jamie West entered the foster care system at the age of 4, bounced around from home to home. She suffered physical and sexual abuse in many of those homes before removing herself from the system. Instead, she turned to homelessness. For the next 5 years, she wandered the country, surviving on the streets. And one day she ended up at a White Castle.
Wow.
And instead of turning her away, the woman behind the counter provided her with food, water, and a bathroom to wash up. She said that while the establishment would see a dirty, obviously homeless person, that was never the case at the burger chain. Most establishments will see that. Okay. White Castle was the only place that no matter where I was, if I saw it, I knew I was safe and I knew they'd feed me. I knew that they'd have water. I knew I could use the bathroom. I never once got turned away. Her boyfriend of 15 years, Drew Schmidt, proposed in 2019. She immediately knew what she wanted to get married, White Castle.
Wow.
In front of 150 people, the couple exchanged vows in front of the Scottsdale location on Mayfield.
That White House made a killing.
White Castle, yes. It's interesting too, because like, it's just an act of kindness, but it seemed like, you know, a basic thing people should be able to do, go use the bathroom and stuff.
Correct.
But, the having a wedding there, it's one of those things where service level people would look down on it, and then when you hear the story, it's like, oh, that's fucking sweet. You know, because we're like, weddings are so superficial in the first place. You know, and normally when you hear these kind of stories, it's like Taco Bell gave somebody a wedding because they won the lottery, you know, whatever. Like, it's a sweet story. It meant something. And I think that's one of the things that's cool about weddings and all that stuff is it can mean, what does it mean to you? I think not too many. It's not my place to judge. It's whatever people feel. But I think a lot of weddings feel generic because it's just like, you gotta have a church. You gotta have this and dress like that. You can tell what people I like me a unique wedding. I like me everybody wore Star Wars colors or something. I'm like, oh, look at this.
Yes, that's me. I was like, yes. And the thing is, it has a meaning. Like, it's not just we're doing this because this is where we're quote unquote obligated to do it. So I'm like you as far as like the non-traditional type of thing.
Right.
And the thing is, I'm pretty sure you know, she was crying, they was crying, employees was crying. Like, I'm pretty sure it was meaningful to everybody.
I'm a little nervous that people know about this now, because I can already tell Arby's is going to use this to launder more money. Because you don't come get married at Arby's now. Wink, wink. We'll pay for everything. Wink, wink. But it's just a way to pretend that you spend a bunch of money that you can launder the drug money through. So I'm a little worried about that, but you know, we're not there yet. But I'm sure when fucking Ving Rhames is telling us they have the
where's
weddings,
the meat?
Yeah, we have the meats, but yes, not where's the beef like Wendy's.
Like Wendy's.
Anyway, C Murder seeks out assistance from attorney Benjamin Crump and NAACP. He's in jail for murder. I guess he's aptly named, and he's trying to, you know, get out. But yeah, so he's been collaborating with Ben Crump and Ronald Haley.
Yeah, I think we covered that, didn't we? Yeah, that's in a hot minute.
That C Murder, yeah. C Murder's been in there for a while, man.
Yes.
But he's saying he's innocent. So, man, let's say he's innocent for a second. Man, he must have really just felt foolish for picking the name C Murder, because it's too easy. Like, I feel like the prosecutor and attorney didn't even have to really do shit. He's like, Your Honor, Exhibit A, his name is C Murder. Okay, so I'm not even gonna bring no witnesses for it, because literally he is seeing the murder. He's saying he see murder. So do we need to bring people that saw the murder when he is named C Murder? I think we can rest the case. We're not bringing no witnesses for it. We don't have no more evidence. Just listen to the album and let's go ahead and convict this man. But yeah, good luck. You know, anytime they bring up Ben Crump, I'm like, with all due respect, good luck. You know, he takes some long shot cases, is what I'm saying. Let's see what else. Wait, what is this doing over here? I feel like this should be Guess the Race. Anyway, let's move that while we can. Florida man was attacked by a 7-foot alligator outside a motel after he mistook it for a dog.
What?
He must have been drunk. The man was walking outside at 12:35 a.m. when the 7-foot when you seen a 7-foot dog, man? A 7-foot dog? It latched
Ain't
onto
no
a
dog 7 foot tall.
right. Not tall, man. Gator's not 7 feet tall, 7 feet long.
Oh yeah, no dog 7 feet long. Even your bigger breeds of dogs ain't that long.
Yeah. Man, he had to be drunk, dog. It's no fucking way.
He was roasted,
It's
drunk or high or some substance.
that ain't no damn puppy, okay? But yeah, apparently he went to pet it. Like, good boy, roll over. It's not barking. It can't even growl.
No, it can't even growl.
The eyes don't even be on the wrong side of his head. Like, what are you? How did this happen?
How
bro?
did the dog get a snout? The fuck is this?
Right. Oh my goodness.
Talk about a major mix-up. A man in Sarasota was bitten by a gator after he mistook it for a dog. That is what investigators are telling us. They say the man told them that he was out for a walk outside of the Warm Springs Motel in Northport around 12:30 a.m. when he spotted a dark figure that he thought was a dog on a leash. It was an alligator, and deputies say that gator bit into his right leg, ripping away muscle as he tried to get away. The man was treated at the hospital. That gator was captured and moved.
Yeah, at least they didn't kill it. At least they didn't kill it. Because honestly, the gator did nothing wrong.
Sure didn't.
Gator was minding his business when DoorDash came through. I was like, oh shit, y'all got a free accidental delivery. I'll eat that.
Oh shit, my 12:30 here?
Yeah.
By the way, I was hungry.
Right. How'd you know? I was just hoping you walk your ass over here. How did you know to do that? Because I'm about to eat you. But yeah, that's insane.
Oh, pepper leg tastes just like chicken.
You think when he was getting ate, he's like, down, boy, sit. Like, this is the craziest dog I've ever seen.
That dog got some sharp ass teeth.
Man, it was a lot. All right, let's get into something else, guys. Let's move into another segment. How about we do some fucking with black people?
25, 50, 75, 100. How much is you fuck with? How much is you fuck with?
Death by 1,000 cuts, microaggressions, gaslighting, dog whistles, manic depression. Work twice as hard no matter how high the bar is. I give it 100, now fuck it, Dracarys.
25, 50, 75, 100. How much is you fuck with? How much is you fuck with?
Richard Dreyfuss slams new diversity requirements for Oscar contention. They make me vomit. Dreyfuss' comments came during a wide-ranging interview on PBS Firing Line with Margaret Hoover, in which the actor discussed civics education in the United States, partisan discord, and the Academy's diversity inclusion initiative. It's an art. No one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is. What are we risking? Are we really risking hurting people's feelings? You can't legislate that. You have to let life be life. I'm sorry. I don't think there is a minority or majority in the country that has to be catered to like that. Of course, the four new diversity and inclusion standards were first announced in 2020, and they'll be instituted for upcoming 2024 Academy Awards, with 2 of the 4 needing to be fulfilled for a valid submission for Best Picture. The 4 standards are described as expanding on-screen representation, themes of narrative, expanding representation among creative leadership and department heads, providing industry access and opportunities for underrepresented demographics, and expanded representation and audience development. Keep in mind, this doesn't necessarily affect the roles or the art that he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Some of this stuff you can actually just do behind scenes. You can be the people who work the cameras, the craft service people, all that shit. It doesn't necessarily mean your film has to have black actors in it, even though that is one of the things you can do.
Yes,
it is not something you have to do.
Right.
And you don't have to do any of these shits, because you could just put out a movie that don't meet the qualifications and just make the money, and you just won't get an Oscar for it. No one owes you an Oscar.
No, they do not.
His comments contended with the defense of Laurence Olivier's performance in the 1965 feature film Othello, in which the English actor, played Shakespeare's lead in blackface. Now, this is interesting to me because ain't nobody brought that up but you.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like people wake up every day like, man, I'm so mad about 1965 Othello. Man, Laurence Olivier, goddamn. Like, no one brings this up. Laurence Olivier probably dead, but even if he's alive, he's somewhere like, well, why am I in it?
Yeah, and you got a whole, not trying to find a whole generation to go, the fuck is Othello?
Yeah, Othello is taught in schools and Shakespeare and stuff, but it's just people. I think, matter of fact, I want to say
I wouldn't talk that. That's why I was like,
well, people know who it is. It's very common. I want to say maybe even Denzel recently played him, or that could have been a different person. Matter of fact, let me look it up. I know for a fact Stringer Bell played him in something. But yeah, my point being, like, it's not like motherfuckers are sitting around like bringing up this shit all the time. That's all I'm saying. It's not that big a deal to have
that San Giselle did.
Yeah, like, it's not like, and it was a black role, and it was played in blackface. It was during Shakespeare's time. Sometimes, like, and since his time, sometimes people are played in blackface. But we all know, like, at this point, people frown on blackface. You know that. And if we're being real, a lot of people frowned on blackface even when it was popular, you know. Anyway, he says he played a black man brilliantly. Am I being told that I will never have a chance to play a black man? Is someone else being told if they're not Jewish, they can't play in The Merchant of Venice? Are we crazy? This is so patronizing, so thoughtless, and treating people like children. I think we're cowards. Republicans send their children in schools hoping and praying that the children will come back Republicans. Democrats send their children to school urgently praying that their children come back Democrats. The idea that a parent would walk into a public school and say, I don't want my children exposed to opposing views, that's wrong. All right.
It made no sense.
Yeah, I guess he's just getting old white man. But also, like, how come you haven't played anybody blackface, Richard Dreyfuss?
It's a reason why, right? It's the reason why.
You've been in the game a long time. You had a lot of opportunities to do that. Why you ain't did it?
Right, because you didn't want to deal with people getting your ass. So
like,
the fuck you talking about?
It's such a dumb take, you know, because like you don't even really want that. And the other thing too is like we're just now getting to the point where people are bending the roles, because I think everyone has a great point when they're an artist or an actor and they're like, part of what I would like to do is act in a way that is like blind to reality. Like if I want to play somebody who is not my sex or my gender or my race, I would like to be able to do that. And you know what? Y'all have been doing that.
Yeah, you have.
You know, you've been playing brown face and black face. You had a turn. It's almost never good. It's been good a couple times. You know, I won't take away from, you know, like Robert Downey Jr. or something.
The times it is, but most of the time it is not good.
Yeah, it's very rarely the crux to the performance or the whatever the title is.
Correct.
And it just almost never works the other way.
Right.
Like if it was working the other way the whole time, it's only recently that we're starting to see race bent roles towards the other way. Where it's like, oh, we're gonna have a black Hermione in this play. Oh, we're gonna have a black person. I think I just saw today Denai Guerrero is playing like Henry VIII and something on PBS or something.
Okay.
Like these are fairly recent things that are happening.
Yes.
Movies have been around over 100 years, and this shit is just now happening. So I don't know, Richard Dreyfuss, maybe give it some time to even out. And then we can continue this discussion when we all feel like, oh, you know what? It doesn't really matter. That's what acting is. You play a role of something that you may not have experienced, and we want to give everyone a chance to be able to do that.
Right.
We're not at that point. We're not giving everyone a chance. You can't look at an industry that won't hire trans people to play trans people, won't hire trans people to play cis people, and then be like, I just don't know what they complain about when cis people play a trans role. It's like then you're so privileged you can't see it.
Agreed.
Anyway, 0 to 100.
This gets 100. You know, it's one of those things where he's talking just to talk, and it's one of those things where he just don't. What the fuck y'all changing things for, and not really understanding why, and not really understanding the history, and not really understanding his privilege.
Right.
And I didn't. It's one of those things where you're not giving up any of your roles for these people. So what the fuck you talking about?
Yeah, it's just weird. Oh, Denai's gonna play Richard III. My bad. Thank you, Trey. I just be talking sometimes. 45 Antioch police officers accused of sending racist text messages, says public defender. That's a lot of cops. According to Contra Costa County Public Defender's Office, nearly half of the police department was involved in the racist, homophobic text chains that have rocked the entire community.
Half. That mean everybody got to go. You know what? Let's just start getting applications for every position in here, because we don't know which 50% you fall in, and since we don't, everybody got to go.
Well, I think we do know. That's why, because we got the text messages, so we know who did what.
Okay, so the half that's on this list, y'all got to go.
In a new letter to the Contra Costa County District Attorney, Public Defender Ellen McDonald revealed that there's now at least 45 officers on text chains they call racist, homophobic, and violent against Black people. They also confirmed that at least 16 of those officers are in leadership roles.
This is the bullshit people be talking about when they be like, y'all do know that these people are in roles. So you know what this means? Now, y'all need to go back and investigate everything that they have stamped and signed and put their John Hancock on, to find out what the fuck is happening and what the fuck is going on. We have to waste taxpayers' money to review shit.
Yep. This is why people say all cops are bastards. This is why people say, abolish police. You can't reform this. It's shit like this because it's so invasive and pervasive.
You can't be in leadership roles with views like this. There are Black people in these communities, Black and brown and LGBTQ and people of color and shit like that.
And if somebody abuses or does something to them, you'd like to think there's some accountability to be held, some checks and balances. And when we're talking about a 50-50 chance, that's not good enough for me as a citizen. The number of officers involved is so deeply concerning. It raises questions on how this went on for so long, who was complicit, what was the impact of not just the cases, but the people who called for help. The Council of American Islamic Relations, San Francisco Bay Area, condemned the recent revelations Friday. Bilou, its executive director, says she's afraid of reading the messages and the effect they will have on her. There are people who are sitting behind bars based on the testimony of these officers who are now proven to be incredibly discredited, racist bigots acting under the cover of law. In the letter from McDonald, the public defender requests the DA immediately dismiss all pending public defender cases involving the Antioch police, release their incarcerated clients, and cease filing any police-related cases. This is the other reason I think and this is something that almost never comes up. And to me, I think this is maybe an argument that should broach both sides of this thing, which is, if your interest is in the police doing a good job, if that is your interest, as many claim, when something like this happens, you're going to have to let the innocent and the guilty go.
Yes, you are.
When something like this happens, you're going to spend a lot of money defending things in court. You're going to spend a lot of money defending these officers.
Mm-hmm.
That is public money, that is tax money.
Yep.
When you defend this kind of shit or you turn the other way, what are you really saying? Because I think what happens is you nakedly are saying, I'm just upholding white supremacy. And these people are racist that do this job is what I like about this.
Or it's just part of the deal.
No, it's not just part of the deal. No. When you say that, this is what you like about it.
Okay.
It ain't that's part of the deal. Like, well, that's what's going to happen. No. 50%.
Yeah.
Which means 50% of them aren't like this. So that means 50% you're like, or at least those 50% ain't dumb enough to put in text. But
agreed.
50% not like this, doing, supposedly doing a good job. If you defend this 50%, what are you really defending? You're not, you know what I mean? Because you can't even say it's part of the job when 50% ain't doing it. So clearly it's not just part of the job for everybody.
Right.
When you defend these particular officers, you're defending their bigotry. You like the bigotry. And I think that's the deep, dark part of the shit that never comes up when we talk about it. We talk about the police like they're not just not part of the community, but like the whole community don't like has this a monolithic view on them. Now there's a lot of people in the community that the white supremacy is the point.
Yep.
So,
Yep. It's a feature, not a bug. And it's one of those things when, you know, you look at this and you go, okay, what you gonna do? Because it's one of those things where you could literally do what that person said or not do it, and then turn around and send them same officers out there to whoop people's asses when they start protesting and shit like that. Because something that I realized, community, and me and you have read several articles, communities where shit like this happen and they immediately fire, immediately dismiss, like nope. Guess what? They don't have people marching the street, people protesting, people showing up at the police office. They don't have that. But for some reason, people don't see that correlation. All they see is, why y'all so mad? Because you didn't do shit. You didn't do shit. That's why they're here. Because when you do shit, you don't have them protest.
Right. But yeah, they said Torres Walker. Wait, who's Torres Walker? Oh, that's the mayor pro tem. Okay. Added, the latest reports have been shocking to read and is prepared to support a request from the mayor to bring a racial equity audit in the police department. That request will be heard Tuesday. And that's the other thing. Government moves so slow. Those are the right moves, but it just, when something like this happens, I know how I feel. And I'm basically like, yeah, y'all can go ahead and get all these motherfuckers out of here.
Yeah. I'm like, the fuck we talking about? Anybody that was on the CC, nope, you're gone. The fuck we talking about? Yeah.
So I definitely feel, you know, but yeah, it's gonna take time because also they got unions.
Correct.
So because they got unions, they can kind of slow play this shit, and you can't just fire them just as soon as you discover the shit.
You're gonna pull them off the street, suspend them with pay. Yeah. We got to do this song and dance. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what we're always hearing, and everyone's tired of it and mad about it. But yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. But yeah, that request in a statement released Thursday, the police chief apologized to the community and assured residents a thorough investigation will be conducted. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, people are not gonna believe him because a lot of people gonna be like, this shit shouldn't happen in the first place.
I do want to know what the text messages said though.
Me too.
Because I know it was some good racism.
You know, it was lit up in there. Okay. Flame emojis of racism.
If they was in there going with that many people in the text chain and they was feeling comfortable, I know they was wilding. All right, Karen, 0 to 100.
Oh, that's Jakaris.
Jakaris for Karen. I give it Jakaris as well because I just think the damage you do to a community with that shit, the amount of people that are affected that can't just apologies not enough, you know.
Yeah, they got family members in jail, arrested, and you know, it's one of those things where some people innocent, like they were really innocent, and you have racist people that's doing this shit, and they go, "Well, see, this is what I told you."
Yeah, like who did you beat up?
Right.
You know, who did you lie on? Who's in jail? No one's believed them the whole time, but they actually are in jail for some shit they did not do.
Yes, sir.
You know, I think, you know, those are the things that I don't even know how you sleep at night with that shit. But, you know, motherfuckers gonna do what they do. All right, we'll do one more. White racial slurs not from Auburn Black Student Union group me chat channel, university says. So there was a group chat with more than 250 racial slurs for white people, and it was shared and then leaked earlier this month, and it was alleged that the Black Student Union of Auburn had made this list. Well, it turns out it was not true. It was a group Google document titled Creeker Names. Creeker is a slang for an old white person. I've never heard that one. That's new to me. Okay. It's good, but it's new. Okay. Your boy didn't know. And that is rare that I don't know. My favorite is Vanilla Villager. One person wrote in the group me chat, milk monkeys gonna always make me laugh, wrote another. Other terms in the list include unedited unedited Google document. That's good because there's nothing on this blank. It's white. Ku Klux Klan and Mayo Sapiens. During Turning Point USA, a conservative organization on college campuses that first reported the story, claimed the whistleblower was tired of the blatant anti-white racism shown in the left and decided to take a stand. But that right there should have told us it was fake, right? Turning Point USA. I've never heard of them.
Mm-mm.
You know, I've never heard their name involved in nothing good.
Mm-mm.
You know, and these motherfuckers will straight up lie. They will straight up, you know, be
and
make up news.
And the thing is one of those things where this makes me upset because now you have people that are part of the student union that all of a sudden they possibly getting attacked and all that shit when this shit not even, and you know, people, they're not going to go back and verify. They're not going to go back. And when this shit come out, it's going to be on the 3rd page or the back of the book. Nobody's going to give a fuck. All they're going to be like, y'all niggas out here talking. And they was like, we didn't do this. This is not our shit.
Right.
And so it's a problem. And so it's one of those things where, you know, you turn around and if it's somebody that sued, motherfucking sue them.
Yeah,
Bitch, you lied on us. And now we're dealing with harassment.
Yeah, the retraction never gets the same energy as the offense.
Right.
You know, no, I definitely
you lie with the offense, but you know, and you're gonna get the apology from the school or whatever, however it got out there. But I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Now now the Black Student Union's name is tarnished. And we gonna be doing shit, and people gonna be like, "Ain't y'all?" No, we're not, and they're not gonna believe us.
Yep. So then in a statement to Turning Point USA, Auburn said it became aware of the GroupMe chat January 17th, but in the statement, the university provided February 8th that was not included in neither Turning Point USA's nor 1819 News coverage of the story. 1819 News. What is 1819 significance? I know 1719.
I'm about to say that, you know,
or is it 1619?
You know how they do that. That's their version of it. This is what we're gonna start. Y'all might as well say 1776 as far as I was concerned.
Right. I know it's some shit I don't want to know.
Yeah, it's a connection to that.
Like, I don't know what it is, but it's definitely
like I said, that's what you might as well. That's all I heard.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I guarantee you it's some stupid shit I really don't want to know. Well, they're just gonna be like, see what it is in the 1619. That's what they shit is. So we added 200 years because that's how much better we are than black people. And it's like, what is happening? What is happening?
Where's this math coming from?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, see, that's the thing. See, we don't fuck with Ta-Nehisi Coates over here. See, he like that 1619. That's that bullshit. But they said Auburn said it learned the chat, which was titled AU Connect, brought to you by the Throwdown, included hundreds of people from multiple universities. These comments did not occur on the Black Student Union GroupMe, nor as part of any recognized Auburn University organization channel. And
right, because they can monitor that shit, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Right.
I mean, they did their research. I mean, it's not that hard. Do a little research.
And whatever the GroupMe thing is, it probably got .edu, so of course they got access to it.
Yeah. So y'all didn't really fool nobody with this bullshit, you know. And all these. That's another thing. They lies be like so easy.
They be kid lies. Yeah. Like it don't even be well thought, organized, nothing. They just be doing shit and y'all know what, y'all are not Donald Trump. So I hate to tell y'all this. Like Donald Trump can do that bullshit. He got the money. Well, I don't know who got the money, but he got the resources to fight the shit and delay shit, and y'all don't.
Yeah, it's like that Veritas, whatever that organization is that keeps fooling the media with this, like, oh, we caught Acorn saying some bullshit, and then you investigate and it's like, oh, the video's edited, it's cut, it's this, is that.
But
it's not really what people
by
think.
Then Acorn is dissolved.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, how many times are they gonna run that kind of shit? I'm glad this one got caught, but it's clearly some bullshit. Investigations underway in the University's Office of Affirmative Action and Equal Employment, which adjudicates reports of harassment and discrimination. The statement continued. The university takes these matters very seriously, and alleged behavior does not represent the values of urban, which still couches this as we are going to monitor the white racism that was experienced on this list, you know, which I don't think is happening.
All right.
So, all right, 0 to 100, Karen.
This gets a I'm gonna give this a 75 because sounds like some IT person went through the groupchatme.edu and found the information.
I give it I think I give it a 75 too, but mostly because, not to sound like a dick, but even if this was real, this is fucking stupid. It's not
right.
Like, this it's not actionable. These kids aren't doing anything to anyone. It seems like they were fucking around, but racism does not work in the way that this list would have any consequences to white people for existing. It feels like trying to say like this black person said cracker and be like, and if we can't call you a nigger with a hard R, then you shouldn't even be able to say cracker amongst your friends or whatever. It's like, now it's not the same. There's a whole history attached to it. There's power structures attached to it. But I get that it's not kind. I don't think it's a good thing, but
no, it's not, and it should have been done.
And the fact that y'all reported on this with no true verification and that it kind of became its own thing is wild as fuck. But I don't know. I'm a little bit fucked with. And then because I think what's really fucking with me is the idea of like, well, it wasn't an Auburn University thing, so that's the reason we're not gonna do anything. But it's like, if it would have been, you still shouldn't crack down on the Black Student Union. It's maybe you tell them like, hey, don't do that. But it's nothing serious should come of this because this is not the same as what Anyway, it's not the same to me.
Nope.
All right, let's go to some Guess the Race.
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
Snarling mugshot of a fearsome man who pulled a knife on a sergeant and wants to kill cops.
Oh no.
Many members of the community were left stunned when a snarling mugshot, the manic-looking image, was taken by the booking officers in Connecticut as he starts to face a raft of charges. Raymond Lipinski, a 29-year-old man from Hartford, Connecticut, was charged with multiple offenses in connection with several incidents with the law enforcement members of Greater Hartford this month. He threatened to kill a state trooper and pulled out a knife when law enforcement members tried to arrest him.
Well, damn.
They claim Lipinski has had at least 5 violent interactions with officers in the Greater Hartford metropolitan area during April.
Well, damn.
The manic-looking image was sent by booking officers in Connecticut as he starts to face a raft of charges. Claimed that he first threatened to kill a sergeant and then later pulled a knife on another officer. The latest series of incidents started late Monday morning. Police told the paper that when Lipinski shouted at an on-duty state police sergeant asking, "Are you a cop?" as he kills cops. You have to say, what gave me away? The uniform? A spokesman from the CSP told the news channel WFSB, using profane language, the male went on to threaten to kill the sergeant specifically. After a car chase, he was spotted walking in the street, approached at which point he said to put out the knife. Officers sustained minor injuries during the struggle to secure him in the cruiser. Police say 3 other nearby cities have also charged him with threatening some officers. Man, he really is on some fuck the police. He's a fuck the police up. He was
yes.
He was charged with assault on a public safety officer, criminal attempt to commit first-degree assault, and interfering with an officer and carrying a dangerous weapon. He was also charged with second-degree threatening, first-degree recklessness, reckless endangerment, reckless driving, disobeying the signal of an officer, attempting to elude and escape an officer in connection with the incident, and a partridge in a pear tree. Yeah, several other warrants stemming from incidents earlier this month where he was accused of engaging police in pursuit, driving recklessly, and interfering with officers. His next court date is May the 10th. Well, May the 10th be with him, okay? Karen, guess the race.
White.
Right. All right. Let's check the chat room and see what they believe. If he black, he's the luckiest nigga alive. All right. It's gonna be okay, sir. Please lower your knife. Are you hungry? White. Black. White and alive. Albino at the pod. White. Oh, someone's been in the Auburn group chat. White for the person is bold, brave, bold, and black. He's a white. All right. The correct answer is many of you said white. Karen, you said white too?
Mm-hmm.
You're correct. He's a male sapien. A couple people, I think one person missed it.
That was too many interactions with the police for them to be like, we don't see you 5 times this week.
Right. We don't want to have to do this, Raymond. Don't make me. Yeah.
They know him on a first name basis.
Man, look at his mugshot. Like, he got face paint on. Definitely look like he wanted to kill some cops, even in his mugshot, which happens hours after you've been arrested. He kept that same energy. I don't know. He probably having some mental health situation.
I would 100% agree.
I do like the idea of, like, what if he was chilling and cool and then they snapped the photo and that's when he made his face mean, you know? Oh, it was like, oh man, yeah. Well, I'm sorry about this, guys. It's embarrassing to me too. Yeah, all right. Well, all right, we're gonna take your mugshot. All right, cool. 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, cool. It's like, all right, man. So just go back to this cell over here. Thanks. Everybody got the fingerprints. So y'all have a good day. I can't believe he shot me. Road maintenance dispute prompted shooting, police say. A Montgomery man has denied shooting another man in a dispute over maintenance of a private
You denied, but somebody got shot.
Right. Set me up, shot himself. It's a conspiracy. Looking for a one-armed man. Check every outhouse, in-house, around the house, in the house. Star LL Cool J. Another man in dispute over the maintenance of a private shared road where they both live. Robert Morrell, 77, pleaded not guilty Friday in Franklin County Superior Court to a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in the shooting of Kevin Temple, 54. Both men live on Highland Springs Road. Temple was hospitalized after the shooting Thursday, for serious but not life-threatening injuries. Judge Martin Malley released Morrell on conditions. They released him. Wow, on conditions sought by Franklin County State's attorney, including that he stay away from Temple and abide by a 24-hour curfew at his home except for medical needs. So basically house arrest. Mm-hmm. If he is driving on the road, he cannot stop. He cannot possess firearms. And he cannot grade the road. The condition state. I don't know what grade the road means.
Right? Grade the road. That's a good one.
What does grade the road mean?
What the fuck is a grade the road?
What does grade the road mean? 7 things to watch for. What is road grade so important? Road grade. You might have. I don't know what this means, y'all. I'm reading this shit is way too. This article way too long. It's never. I just need a definition. Oh, use a motor grader to restore the driving surface and drainage attributes to the roads. Does he drive some type of heavy machinery? Is that his job?
Must be.
Is he can't grade the roads? Is that a thing you do casually?
I don't know. People out here just grading.
Is it right? Is it
all
like
the time a grade I do is cheese? The fuck are we talking about?
Grade, grade. So like grade, like A, B, like a A, a F, you know that.
Oh, okay.
That's how it's spelled, but I don't know what it means. Like, you got a road grader? Does he just be like, oh, I'm gonna go? I'll be right, honey. I'm gonna go grade the road real quick. They told the judge that the Temple and his family plan to move out of their home because they fear Morrell. They expect to pick up their belongings over the weekend while Morrell is under curfew, he said. Malley asked why the Temple family is being forced to move out instead of Morrell found another residence. Morrell's attorney, Paul Gross, responded that his client had nowhere else to go. Well, I mean, shit, if you shoot somebody, you ain't got nowhere else to go. I mean, I guess I'll take my shot ass and move on out. That makes sense. Why should you be inconvenienced by your attempted murder? According to an affidavit written by Vermont State Police Detective Sergeant Angela Baker, the shooting stemmed from an ongoing dispute over the private road where the two men live. On Thursday afternoon, Morrell shot Temple in the torso with a .22 caliber revolver. He remained at the scene. He was taken into custody by responding police. Mary Temple, Kevin Temple's wife, told police that she was at the grocery store when her daughter messaged her telling her to come home now. When Mary Temple got to the house, according to affidavit, her husband had been shot. He's lying on the ground mumbling, "He shot me, honey. He shot me. I can't believe he shot me." Mary Temple told police her husband had past run-ins with Morrell over the road, but none were violent. Here's this one. Police later interviewed Kevin Temple at the hospital where he reported that Morrell had been grading the road. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
He wasn't them grading the road ass motherfuckers. Okay.
So this is why no grading is on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Widening into Temple's property. Temple said he parked his truck, sat on the tailgate to stop Morrell from grading. Like, hey man, the road, you smushing the road into my land. You can't do that.
Right.
And he said Temple advised Bob pointed a gun at him and was not sure what happened next, but Bob shot Temple, she wrote. Temple advised he fell and asked Bob to call 911. Bob replied, "Get fucked." This 77-year-old man was about it. Oh, you shot me. Call 911. I suggest you get fucked, buddy. Temple told police the two men have argued about the road for some time. Morrell told police he and the neighbor had been scrapping the road Thursday, alleging that Temple threw a rock at him when he passed Temple's residence. Baker wrote in the affidavit that Morrell had no marks or bruises indicated he'd been hit by a rock. Morrell, who had his gun with him, then said he shot Temple. Bob said he was not trying to kill Kevin. He said, I could have killed him, could have shot him 2 in the eyes. That was my intention.
Nigga, go to jail. The fuck we talking about here?
Right. They let this man back out, by the way. He's at home right now. And he just can't grade the road. Morrell, according to the document.
No grading of the road.
Claim.
Yep. That what I know whoever typed this go grading. Yeah, put it in there. He can't. He is not allowed to do that.
I give this grade a F. That's how he shoots you.
Right?
You have failed this road.
Yes, you have failed this road.
Morrell, according to the document, claimed his actions were self-defense. I asked Bob his thoughts on shooting Kevin. He said, it don't bother me a bit. Karen, guess the race of Mr. Robert Morrell.
Oh, white.
Karen's going white for Robert. Let's see what the chat room says. I know it's a little bit behind. Let's see. Old grumpy Richard Dreyfuss white. I shot my neighbor and at the home white. Vermont equal to whitest of whites. Why ain't them old whites barbecuing instead of playing Bob Villa White? The grumpy old man reboot sucks white. Yeah, the odd couple. Mayo mass murderer. This is a very old white small town country ass story. Once again, white and brazen. Scrapping and grading the road white. Milk curdled white. What? No CSI Miami intro for that to that grade joke? I'll just sometimes I don't always get them all. As white as the road lines white. The correct answer is white. Everyone got it right. Now this could just be my bias talking, but this motherfucker right here looked like he'll shoot you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not blaming the victim, but I'm just saying, like, he got them I'll shoot somebody glasses.
Yeah. He got that, like, I got that heat on my waist. Now fuck you up.
You're like Michael Douglas and Falling Down if he got older or something, you know. All right, let's go to the bonus round. Karen is actually 2 for 2.
Yay!
That bitch was white. I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get
Gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big dive, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
All right. A Georgia woman cranked up the tunes when police asked her to turn it down, and now she's behind bars. Not pumping up the jam on them.
Pump it up.
Right.
Why the beats are bumping. Ma'am, ma'am, and the slam is jumping. Excuse me, ma'am. We're trying to get your attention. You were partying.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Right?
She listened to Master Ace, like white boy, turn that shit down. Or black boy, turn that shit down. You know that America don't want to hear the sound of that.
Is that we're not gonna take it?
Right. Yeah.
That's the other jam.
Right. Damn, man. Why? I
don't know what the sound was.
Right. So yeah. Thomasville police officers were called to Jennifer Dyson's home just before 10:45 p.m. one evening last month to reports of loud music and disturbing the peace.
She out here like, when did we call it dead on what was that we saw last night? With Kenny and
South Park?
Yeah, South Park. Yeah, she out here wilding like, what you call it dead?
Yeah.
Just having a party.
Yeah. I also like that I'm now old enough to be on the other side of this. Because like there used to be a time when I was young and I turned my music up and I, bought my car that didn't have subwoofers and treated it like it did and blew out my speakers.
So, yeah, it didn't have to upgrade and then replace them.
Yeah, and so like there was a time when I firmly would be entrenched on the like, man, y'all always trying to da, and now
But
I'm on the
now,
side like it's 10:45. What?
bitch, turn that shit down. Now I'm like, I'm of the age, be like, ooh, you can't hear the police, you can't hear the EMS passing, ma'am, turn this down.
People trying to sleep. Like,
Yes. It's bedtime. The fuck is this? I understand, but ma'am, I got to get up and go to work in the morning.
like we have lived long enough to be we have lived long
Yes,
enough to
yes.
be like, hold up.
Yes, I am of the age where the night didn't start till midnight. I'm like, bitch, what is we doing? I'm not leaving the house. If I ain't out by 8:45, the fuck we doing?
Right. Like, hey, calm down.
Yes. My family had a function, honey, and I wanted to go, and it was like 9 something, 10. They was like, we still going. I was like, well, I guess I won't be there. I'm not leaving the house at 10.
And I'm not, and the thing is, I'm not going next door to tell you either. Like, hey, can you just turn it? It's like, the cops can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
911.
like if it's so like I've never had to do that, but if it is so loud that I can't like that, I'm like, I need to get the police involved.
That bitch was loud.
If it's that loud, it's no way I'm not. There's no way I'm not just calling the cops. Like it's like, oh well, good luck. Hope it's not the racist cops or whatever the fuck, in our neighborhood. But anyway, so they asked her to turn it down,
which is a reasonable request. They probably walk up, boom, 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 boom,
right?
Boom, 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 boom. Check what your mama gave you. They was like, do you hear what that is?
So then she turned it up.
She looked at them and I bet she looked at them and they face. It's too loud. Word, boom, boom, boom,
Right.
boom, 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 boom,
Right.
boom. That's what the fuck was happening.
She then was arrested and charged with violating the noise ordinance and disturbing the peace.
Right.
While she was being arrested, police found a gun she had gained access to. Now, what does that mean?
Oh shit! Not gained access.
How you gain access? It's not your gun. Anyway,
she stumbled across the gun.
She knew the magical codes. Investigators say they later learned that Dyson got the gun in an attempt to assault the officers. Oh, they added aggravated assault to the charges. She's currently being held in the county jail without bond. Yes, right.
What was the name? You got a name?
Yeah, her name is Jennifer Dyson.
Auburn Black without bond, my nigga.
Okay, let's check the chat room, see what they believe. Medea little sister Black.
Oh
no! Have to pop a cap in y'all. Anyway, say it loud, Black and loud. Loud music is a criminal offense. Black, white, cause she is alive. She's a Negro. The good sis was just lifting her voice and singing. Black crime, but that name is white, so I'm going white. She made it to jail and didn't die there. White, yeah, that type of behavior is Black. Black. All right, the correct answer is Karen. The 3 for 3. Black. A little bit of a tricky one. You got it. Some people missed it though.
Oh, she did that.
That's the face she made when she was turning that shit up too. You know it. Like, ma'am, can you just turn the damn music down?
In front of them.
We done asked you many times. I don't think she twerked. I think she turned it up with that face, like just
with her clicker
on her, just turning up the volume, like I can't hear you over these jams.
It was like, shake what your mama gave ya. Shake what your mama gave ya.
I do wonder what the songs were.
I would love to know what the jams was she was pumping.
It was probably like, we be all night.
Yes.
Like, listen, I'm going to the Renaissance concert. I gotta get prepared. But yeah, you're 3 for 3, Karen. Congratulations. Good job. Let's get to the final thing, sword ratchetness. A replica sword turned out to be the real 3,000-year-old deal. I told y'all these ain't no such thing as a replica sword.
They all cut.
If you visit the Field Museum of Chicago for its First Kings of Europe exhibit that opens March 31st, keep an eye out for a ragged, unassuming sword. It has a special backstory. The Field Museum had thought it was a convincing replica of a Bronze Age sword. Turns out it's the real thing. The sword is around 3,000 years old. The museum acquired the artifact almost a century ago. It was first discovered in the 1930s in the Danube River in Budapest, Hungary. It may have ended up there as part of a ritual for the dead. Field Museum, yeah, it might be a vampire sword. Put that shit back in the stone and leave it alone.
A fucking blade. You gonna hit that shit and it's gonna be black and glowing.
Right. Right.
Stop that.
Field Museum scientists, especially
they're gonna hit that shit. That shit gonna start whispering your name.
Right. It's gonna tell you kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Field Museum scientists with specialties in chemistry and archaeology examined the sword with an X-ray fluorescent detector, a device that can determine what an object is composed of. When they compared the sword's chemical makeup to other known Bronze Age swords in Europe, their content of bronze, copper, and tin were nearly identical. Tracing the sword to its rightful place in history was unexpected. Usually this story goes the other way around, that we think something is an original and it turns out to be fake. The sword's authentication happened too late to include it in the Bronze Age section of the First Kings of Europe exhibit, so the museum instead installed it in the main hall as a preview for the show. The sword story is something like out of an Antiques Roadshow, one of the amazing finds that astounds the audience. So, there you go, guys.
And somebody like me gonna be able to and taking pictures of the shit. This sounds like some shit I go see.
Yep.
Because it's behind the glass, so I know, that's a little different. I ain't walking up touching it with my bare hands and shit.
Right, that's correct. All right, y'all, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate y'all. We'll talk to y'all throughout the week. Tomorrow we have a show with JL Covan. So tune in for that live. I think it's at 6 or 6:30 or something. And until next time, I love you.
I love you too.